I will ask you a question today. Why do you do investments? What do you expect out of your investment? Are you looking to get a good cash flow out of this year after year? Or you are expecting a capital appreciation after some point of time in future? What is your aim? Whatever could be your aim, but in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about if you are looking for cash flow, what are the things that you should keep in mind? And if you are looking out for a capital appreciation, what are the things that you have to keep it in mind? This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant, but investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Different people have got different needs. Some people are looking out for a good cash flow out of their investments. If you are a person who is about to retire, or if you are a person who is retired, you need cash flows. Obviously, from your investments, you are looking at some kind of a monthly cash flows or a quarterly, half yearly, or a regular cash flow out of your investment. If you are an youngster, probably your living expenses are covered by your salaries or your income. You may not need a cash flow. The purpose of your investment could be to get a capital appreciation in the long run. But both these categories of people have to keep something in mind. What creates a good cash flow from your investment, or what can result in good capital appreciation over the longer periods of time? When you understand the basics of these two things, your investments will go in the right direction. The purpose of your investment, if it is to generate a cash flow, from where will you get it? What do you do to get this cash flow? Will you go and deposit this money in a bank? Will you go and deposit this money in a NBFC? Will you go and deposit this money in some other financial institutions? Or you go and buy a stock and depend on the dividend income that is coming out of this share? Or you go and buy a real estate, rent it out, and get the cash flow out of the rental income. All the possibilities exist when it comes to the question of deriving a cash flow. What is the thing that you have to keep in mind? If you want to derive a cash flow by depositing money in a bank, my suggestion is stay with the bigger banks. It could be a public sector bank, it could be a private sector bank. As much as possible, avoid the smaller banks, or as much as possible, totally avoid the cooperative banks. Now the bank FD rates across bank should be similar. They could be 0.5% more at one place and 0.5% could be lesser at another place. Now if the banks are offering you 5% and suddenly one bank is offering you 7%, don't get attracted to it. Rather see it with suspicion. There should be something wrong. There should be something wrong in their business model. There should be something wrong that is happening there. So if such an offer comes, what should you do? All that I would suggest to you is don't neglect it totally. As long as it is a public sector bank or is it a large bank, then you accept the offer but keep exposure control. Maybe 10% of your fixed deposit, maybe 20% of your fixed deposits you can put there and derive a higher yield. Don't do the mistake of shifting your entire fixed deposits to these banks where they are giving you a higher rate of yield. The higher yield from these banks come because these banks are weaker and they are going through a transition phase. Don't risk all your money by putting the entire corpus under these banks. If you are trying to generate cash flow out of your investments in the rental real estate space, the point that you have to keep in mind is what is the percentage of yield that you are going to get when you buy a property. If you are, let's say, if you buy a property using 1 crore rupee, if you keep the same money in a bank fixed deposit, let's assume that it earns you 6% rate of return. That means by keeping this money in the bank, you get about 6 lakhs rupees per year. But if you buy this rental property, what is the rentals you are going to get? If you park this money in a rental real estate meant for residential purpose, the rental yields in India is just about 2%. Does it make any sense for you to park so much of your money and take so less cash flow out of it? Instead, Suppose if you have the chance to buy a commercial real estate and if that can give you about 10% yield, that is 10 lakh rent over 1 year for an investment of 1 crore, it makes excellent case for you to invest in that particular property. Normally, the residential real estate gives you very less yield. If you are a young person and if your idea is to generate cash flow over longer periods of time, that means I buy this property today, yields are lesser, maybe 15-20 years later that is going to give me a better rental yield, there it's no problem. But if somebody is looking to use his retirement corpus and go and buy a property and to live out of the rental income, it may not be a good idea for such persons. If you intend to get income out of your investment in shares, you need an entirely different approach. In such a case, you have to identify those companies which will grow over a period of time. Unless they really grow in their business, you can't expect increasing cash flows coming out of the dividends that these companies give to their shareholders. You also need to keep in mind several other things also. Look out for a company which is free of debt, which means to say if a company has borrowed a lot of money to build its business, the chances of this company closing down or suffering in later years due to the burden of debt is real and you may not get any cash flows. Plus the amount of money you have put to buy this particular share may also go down in value. So if you are trying to derive a cash flow using the dividend income of a company, identify those companies which are free of debt or have negligible debt on their balance sheet. There are other things also to be kept in mind. For example, companies which have got great brands, companies which are customer facing will have better dividend paying capacities. Now you would have seen companies like Hindustan Liver, or you would have seen companies like Colgate, companies like ITC, company like Castrol. These give out most of their income that they derive, the profits that they generate back to their shareholders. Such companies are great buys if you are looking to generate cash flows from buying these particular shares. One another thing that you have to keep it in mind, if you are buying a share for the sake of cash flow, is you have to wait for very opportune moments. There are times during the market corrections the good companies will also go down in value. Recently we saw a massive correction in the month of February, March and April. I was very surprised, but I was prepared. I could latch on to a lot of stocks which had dividend yields of 8%, 9%, 10%, 12%. And they had come down in value to such an extent. The dividend yield of these companies became too attractive. My opportunity was go and keep my money in a bank which gives me 5%, 6%. Instead, I could liquidate these fixed deposits and go and buy these shares which had about 8% to 12% dividend yields. These are the companies which are free of debts. These are the companies which had great brands. These are the companies which are unlikely to close down in next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. When opportunity presents, if you are able to latch on to such companies, you will get fantastic cash flows. But you have to wait for your opportunity, you have to do your research, you have to do your due diligence and zero in on the right stocks to buy. Then for lifelong, you can expect excellent cash flows out of your investment. If the purpose of your investment is to generate a capital appreciation over longer periods of time, what is that you should be doing? What factors you should consider? Why does the capital appreciation happens in the first place? The answer to these questions will be explained to you in part 2 of this video. Dear viewers, if the topic that I discussed in this video was useful to you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I will be back with part 2 of this video very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.